You know, Snoop really has a lot of nerve to be telling us to mind our business when that's quite literally what we were doing. Nobody was asking you anything about your political beliefs, but you decided to publicly go tap dance for that man after calling or implying that whoever would have done it in 2016 was a jigaboo and all this other stuff, all types of sellouts. But now that you have checked that box, we're not supposed to talk about it. And black people, honestly, this isn't even about him because I expect people with money, especially black people with money, to do what black people with money tend to do. And he's doing just that. But we got to change the narrative around certain things because we have this tendency to take accountability and call it tearing people down. You're not tearing somebody down because you're telling them how their real life actions have real life consequences. Telling him that what he did was problematic for our community as a whole is not tearing that man down. He's a grown man. Now, I'm not going to say that he's never done anything for the community or in favor of it. Sure, he probably has. But this was a big screw up. This was monumental. You went and literally shucked and jived for somebody who is actively repealing everything your ancestors fought for, taking away your rights to even do that. Like, the reason you have those rights is because of their fight. The reason you can be on the stage, you can make millions of dollars, you can be in those rooms with them because you quite literally wouldn't have been able to had it not been for our people. And now you're gonna go and tap dance for people who want to take that away from you? It makes no sense. Like, these celebrities, this is why I don't believe in celebrity culture and why I don't think celebrities should be viewed as role models. And quite frankly, I'm not interested to hear their political beliefs because a lot of them have too much money and access to actually be affected by legislation or by social norms that we all have to live under because they have the privileges to just move around it. And that's the case for them. This isn't going to hurt him. I think what's going to happen is that he's going to end up on the Breakfast Club or whatever, one of those shows, and they're going to downplay it or joke it off, and then everybody's going to forget about it. But we can't overlook the fact that he has a high level of influence. He really does. He's been an ongoing figure in the black community, and the reason that he is so successful is because of the black community. We all bought that detrimental ass, mind numbing ass music, which is also another issue in itself. But we've kind of made him who he is and where he is. There was no audience for gangster rap outside of us, and then it grew and expanded because of us. So for you to just basically slap all of us in the face by going to dance for this man and perform for him, knowing that he's actively going to take back everything your people actively worked for, is crazy to me. And then you think that we don't have the right to be upset or that we should mind our business, but you want your business to be our business when you're profiting from it. So this is the time we supposed to shut the fuck up? Now, Soldier Boy over here talking about, but I never said I voted for him. You said that he put money in your pocket. That was all you needed to know. You sold out too, so take the repercussions. Nelly is still fighting for his life, and I just need him to be quiet. I just need him to be quiet. He sat there and said, if the men and women in uniform can go out and fight for a president that they may not have voted for, I can perform for him. How are you equating yourself, which is very self-serving, you're performing your entertainment with people who fight for the rights of the country, people who put their bodies on the front line for other people? You guys are not the same. That's a false equivalence if I never heard one. But we ought to stop looking at these people as role models. They're not. They're not. I don't want to hear the political opinions of a celebrity, especially one who isn't knowledgeable, who isn't well versed in social or political issues. Because when they work in your favor, it's a good thing. But as soon as they do something stupid, you see the effect that it has. And it's unfortunate. But I just think it's funny that he had the audacity to be upset with us when he's literally the one who flip-flopped. And I think that we have to do a better job of not looking at somebody's money and giving them an out because they have money. Who gives a fuck? He has money because we all decided to pay into him. You know, that him having money doesn't negate his wrongdoings. It doesn't negate the fact that he's basically a token who allowed himself to be spent. He's one person, but he's a big influence. He has a lot of sway out here. And what he says does hold weight for certain people, especially impressionable people like younger people. You can easily flip them, and we don't need that right now. Red pill and all that shit is on the rise as it is. We don't need them voting against their best interests as well and not even knowing their history while they're doing it. So we got to stop upholding stuff like that. But the lesson, the takeaway here, y'all, is that it's not tearing somebody down to hold them accountable or to ask them to hold themselves accountable. And we have to do away with that narrative. Like, we as a community and as individuals, people should hold themselves accountable. And if you're wrong, you should do your best to fix that. If you can't, then at least do your best to not do that shit again. But I'm not seeing any of that from him. It's just stay out of my business. You made it our business.